Hi, Boma. I wanted to take you through a couple of things with my inspection today. And I wanted to start off in your daughter's room and try to show you what I was explaining, but have more of a visual to go along with it. And I just wanted to get you to get some perspective as to where I am in relation to the garage and the house. So I just add this photo, and you can see that window in the front there, and you sort of see it in the attic over the garage, just as a point of reference. And you can see how the closet of the room is sort of built out into the space above the garage. And what happens when they do that, and you're going to get a kind of a closer look here, but I just wanted to give a little description, is that when they're building the floor and everything else sort of up from the bottom, there's a gap there. And what they oftentimes do, even in newer homes like yours, they'll just stuff that bad insulation in there. But you can just see that, I mean, there's no way it's going to stop the flow of air, right? Because it's not sealed. So as I push it back in there, that's kind of what we want to do. And then we want to do something that we call blocking and sealing. And that's what we're doing here. And it's sort of a different application, but same type of problem where we have a large gap and we need to seal it from the attic. So we use that foam board, that rigid foam board you see there, and we use the foam spray to kind of seal around it. And then one more thing I wanted to show you here with this video is how we want to kind of wrap that wall, and we want to make sure that that insulation can't slide down. And you may notice from the video, if you go back, or you may even notice here, where the insulation is just not in perfect contact with that wall. And by wrapping it on the other side and compressing it in between, then you're just going to get better performance out of the product, the material. So the next piece of the puzzle I wanted to address with you are those hatches, the wall and the ceiling hatch. And this is a hatch from somebody else's house, but they're all pretty much, the same problem. And I want to show you how we treat those, and that would be for both situations, the wall as well as the ceiling. And you can see what Ivan is doing here, how he's cutting that rigid foam board, similar to what you saw in the previous solution for the floor, just a little bit thicker. And we stack it on top of each other, and then we want to marry that insulation to that panel that you currently have so that it has an insulation, it's got a good insulation barrier. And then when it sits inside of that hole, and then when it's closed against the wall, there's a seal. So that's a good transition right into your attic here. And I just wanted you to, and you noticed that that was your hatch there, but I just wanted you to get a kind of a feel for your attic a little bit, and kind of see the handler that's up there, as well as the air handler, that heat pump actually. So that's your third unit, and just get sort of a broad overview, a look of the attic. And I just was looking towards the front, and now I'm looking towards your daughter's room, over towards the garage. And I just wanted to show you here, I did some spot checking of some different penetrations. And this is a technique in your main attic that you could do if you'd want to. It's called air sealing. And you can see where the different penetrations and the different cracks and crevices of the attic floor, we can seal those up with foam. And that just helps with comfort, and it's going to keep your conditioned air, of course, inside of your house in the winter, and it's going to keep that heat from the attic outside, or in the attic in the summer. And then here I just wanted to sort of address the recessed lights around the house. And I wanted you to remember that video I showed you by just inserting it here. And you can see again that blower door is running, and it creates a negative pressure, and you can see that we're getting air coming through, as you said, a leak through that recessed light. And that's for all the recessed lights. So we just want to make sure that we go around the house, there's another one, and we cover them and we seal them. The next part of the video here, I just wanted you to get a quick look at how the ventilation works. And you guys have really good ventilation. Those cardboard things are baffles. And just to give you another frame of reference, you can see where the intake is on the outside, on the soffit, on the eaves. And you have nice, good, wide open holes there. So that's good. The next thing I wanted you to see when I went through the attic is just get a quick look at some of the duct connections. They're not terrible, but anything we can do to a duct system in the attic, and you can get a close-up look at how there's just some condensation in the summer that's occurring there. It was causing, it just means that there's an air leak. We just want to seal those up when possible. It's just something to think about for down the road. And the next thing that I wanted to do, sort of fast forward my tour of your attic, is to that wall adjacent to the sunroom upstairs. And you remember I pointed these areas and these problems out to you. I just wanted you to see firsthand the insulation falling down in the two locations where the supply ducts are going through. There's also just a configuration problem with the insulation in that area that is probably going to lead to comfort problems, but it may not be that big of a deal just because it's the very tippy top of the house. And, if you don't sit in that room a lot and get some good sun, you may never notice it. But, hey, I like to point these things out, and then you can just see how the insulation is over top of that roof. And then finally here for this part of the video, I'm sorry, for your video, I just wanted to show you that area of missing insulation I'd mentioned to you. And that's, of course, above that foyer light fixture. And you can see that winch. I think that's what it's called. But you could see that how they installed that, and what they did, unlucky for you, is they just kicked all that insulation out to the side. And that's just going to be problematic in a couple of different ways. So I'm going to get a report to you and a work scope and everything else here soon. I just wanted you to get a good look at the attic. Thanks for watching.